Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, scrolling through your phone, looking at your friend's new achievements, and a hollow feeling washes over you? You tell yourself, I want to change, I want to do this, but I don't know where to start. On the surface, it sounds like a technical question about process or method, but in reality, it is an internal question. In this age of internet explosion, Google and AI, we don't lack information. You want to lose weight? There are millions of diets. You want to learn a language? There are thousands of free apps. What we lack is not the how-to, but a true starting point from within the subconscious. And the interesting thing is, most of us are confused about this starting point. Today, we will deconstruct that illusion to find where lasting things are actually born. There was a young man who loved music. He idolized singers standing on stage under the bright lights with thousands of fans cheering. He said, "I want to be an artist." He started by buying an expensive microphone, signing up for vocal lessons, and building a beautiful filming corner to post videos online. Week 1, 200 views, mostly from family and friends. Week 2, 50 views. Week 3, only 8 views. Then, one day, there was a video with exactly 1 view, and it was him rewatching it himself. Here, a harsh classification of life occurs. If he did it for the spotlight, the applause, or the dream of fame, he would close his laptop and stop forever. But if the next morning, in a silent room without a single compliment, he still picked up his guitar to practice, then that day, his career truly began. The starting point of genuine art doesn't lie in the day you are applauded. It lies in the day you are not applauded and still continue. Why did that young man and all of us easily give up in those 3rd or 4th weeks? Psychology has a concept, the Dunning-Kruger effect, combined with the emotional cycle of change. When we start in the conventional sense, ignorance creates blind confidence. We stand at the peak of Mount Stupid. Everything looks easy. But after a short time of actually doing it, reality hits. We free fall into the valley of despair. This is where 90% of people quit. They say, "I've lost my passion." But in fact, the true starting point of all greatness always lies at the bottom of this valley. When you realize everything is 100 times harder than you thought, yet you still decide to pitch a tent and climb up one step at a time. Look at a familiar example, exercising. Every January 1st, gyms are always crowded. People buy year-long memberships and new gear fueled by New Year's resolutions. That is extrinsic motivation. But go back on February 15th, it's empty. According to Charles Duhigg in The Power of Habit, motivation is the most volatile thing. You cannot build muscle based on the emotions of New Year's Day. You can only build it based on the habit loop: cue, action, reward. The start of health doesn't lie on the day you swipe your gym card. It lies on a rainy Tuesday afternoon when you've just argued with your boss. Your body is exhausted, your inspiration is zero, but you still automatically put on your shoes and go. You don't exercise because you like it, but because it has become part of your identity. In Leo Tolstoy's novel, Anna Karenina, Anna is swept up in a fierce love with Vronsky. That love is full of vibration, longing, and passion. But it was built on peak emotions. When emotions fluctuated, everything collapsed. Tolstoy wasn't just telling a story of an affair. He was showing us that love starts with emotion, but if it doesn't pass through the stage of choice and responsibility, it will consume itself. In contrast, Levin and Kitty have a love that isn't noisy, but they overcome boredom, differences, and everyday frictions together. Divorce rates often peak at the 7-year mark. Many couples fall into a period of silence. They aren't fighting, but they aren't romantic anymore. Many think, maybe the love is gone. Actually, they are standing at the starting point. Their love truly begins when romance decreases and choice increases. In college, you have soulmates. You think this will last forever because you share a school and common stories. But 5 years after graduation, one gets married, one is busy with a career, one moves away. One day, meeting again, you realize you're too different. The silence becomes awkward. Many friendships end here because people mistake not being on the same path for not being friends. But the starting point of a mature soulmate friendship is when you accept the change in the other person. Real friendship begins when convenience ends. Look at a man who has smoked for 15 years. Initially, when he first loved his wife, he quit for 2 months to impress her. He did it for the eyes of others. Then, of course, he smoked again. Years later, he has a child. One night, he sees his child coughing because of the smell of smoke on his jacket. This time, no one forced him, but the next morning, he threw the pack away. He went through sleepless nights and nicotine cravings. The first time, he quit for the shell, the exterior. The second time, he did it for the core, the interior. When motivation shifts from external recognition to internal self-awareness, that is when true change begins. Have you ever downloaded Duolingo or signed up for an English course? The first days are great. You learn hello, thank you, and your streak increases. But then the third month hits. You hit complex grammar and vocabulary that you forget as soon as you learn. The excitement is gone, replaced by frustration. Language learning doesn't start at hello. It starts on day 100 when you pick up the dictionary with utter boredom, but you know that if you don't learn 5 more words today, you will never escape mediocrity. Fluency starts with patience, with boredom. Before becoming a great writer, Murakami owned a jazz bar. One day, while watching a baseball game, he thought, I could write a novel. He started writing when no one knew him, no one waited, no one cheered. And to maintain stamina, he started running every day. Running not for passion, but because he understood soaring intelligence needs a disciplined physical machine to anchor it. Murakami once said, writing a long novel is like running a marathon. You can't run on inspiration, you run on discipline. Motherhood is miraculous, but brutal. Initially, it's all new, with flowers and family care. But 3 months later, reality hits. Constant sleep deprivation, unreasonable crying, and no more spotlight. Here are 2 possibilities. Either she mothers by initial emotion and falls into a deadlock, or she mothers by daily choice. Motherhood isn't just a biological instinct at birth. It is the repetition of invisible actions. Waking up at 3 a.m., patiently soothing the child when she wants to burst into tears herself. When she still acts gently despite being exhausted, that is when true maternal love begins. To understand the beginning deeper, we must return to the lab at Menlo Park in 1878. Edison tested thousands of times to create the light bulb. He wasn't just fighting burnt filaments, he was fighting the skepticism and ridicule of the scientific world. People asked him, "Don't you see 10,000 failures?" He answered boldly, "I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." Imagine the context: out of money, investors withdrawing, no results. The starting point of electric light wasn't the moment the bulb successfully lit up. It was at the 5,000th attempt, when no one was encouraging him, and he calmly recorded the failure as a stepping stone. In The Old Man and the Sea, Santiago sails for 84 days without catching a fish. He is considered Salau, the unluckiest. No one believes in him, but he still sails. On the 85th day, he catches the biggest fish of his life,
only to lose it all to sharks. But this story was never about the fish. It's about continuing to sail when you've been empty-handed for 84 days. As Hemingway wrote, a man can be destroyed but not defeated. The starting point of resilience lies in every morning you still calmly push your boat out to face the storm. 50% of startups fail after 5 years, and the biggest reason is founder burnout. Look at someone opening a cafe. Month 1 is crowded. Month 3, customers decrease. Month 6, heavy losses. The person who loves the grand opening feeling, they do it for the title of boss. When hardship comes, they are disillusioned and close down. The person who loves the operation, they roll up their sleeves, learn marketing, and fix every small error. Business truly begins when you love solving problems and facing bills, not when you love the applause of the ribbon-cutting ceremony.
Finally, a deep corner: mental health. When you fall into depression, the concept of starting over sounds grand and empty. But the starting line doesn't lie in big plans. It is one morning when you open your eyes, feel the world is heavy, but you still decide to kick off the covers and step out of bed. You choose to wash up, choose to take a sip of water. The starting point of healing isn't when you smile brightly again. It's the moment you stand at the bottom of the abyss and whisper, "Despite the pain, I still want to live." Looking back at these stories, you see a common denominator. The early stage of anything is always supported by external pulls: glory, novelty, hormones, recognition. But those are finite. When they disappear, what do you have left? If deep inside, when all the flashy layers fall off, you still have a small but firm voice, "I want," then at that moment, you have truly set foot on the real starting line. We like to ask, where should I start, as a way to procrastinate? We wait for the perfect teacher, the perfect tool, the perfect time. But the harsh truth is, the real question should be, when I am utterly bored, do I still want to do this? Because if you truly still want to, every technique, every platform can be self-taught. But if you don't, then even if someone serves it on a silver platter, it's all meaningless. Erase the old definition in your head. Many think starting is the first action. Not at all. The first action is often manipulated by excitement. Real starting is the 100th action when you have no interest left, the 50th time you still practice in exhaustion, the 30th time you post without any engagement, the 7th year you still protect your marriage. That is starting. So, where do you start? You start in the place where no one applauds, no inspiration, no novelty, where there is only a piercing silence, only you facing your own shadow, and you still choose to take one more step. That is where everything sustainable and great in this world is born. Next time you look in the mirror and ask, "Where do I start?" remember, you don't need to start in a flashy place. You need to start in the silence. And if in the middle of that harsh silence you can still say, "I want," then believe me, you don't need to find the starting line anymore. You have already started.